Hi there. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Um, Ready to chat about a few different things. Just then everybody.
Me too. Why don't you
But
start?
have you got a cup of tea?
I've got my tea. I've
Good.
got a mix of thyme and sage today. And
Nice.
you?
My Finnish one that I'm still drinking, which is
Oh,
absolutely
beautiful.
delicious. Yeah, so
Okay.
I've reduced the quantity so it lasts me longer because who knows when I'll get another one. It's delicious.
But order it from Amazon. Just keep getting it.
Hmm. I'll look into that. Anyway, so how has your week been?
My week. Okay, so I'll go first then.
Yeah.
Um, Started off with me trying to control things, I think, out of fear. And that led to impulsiveness and then a lot of back and forthness. And so just practicing self-awareness, I was able to realize that, um, yeah, I don't need to control this. I can release, I can let go, I can be open to whatever it is. So sitting a lot with maybe the anguish of letting go and the openness of being willing to receive.
Mm.
Um, and that kind of reminded me of your meditation of like having and not having.
Yeah.
So if you are open to this and you think it's a good idea, I would really, really, really love for you to guide me through that today.
Wow. Okay. I am open to that.
Okay.
Let's just think about how the last time we did that, the
Mm-hmm.
space of which we did that, how comfortable that felt for you in the moment of doing it. So maybe we can
Mm-hmm.
do it, but I wonder if we should do it live or we do it after this, share our thoughts, and then
Sure.
upload an extra episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think it would be beautiful to share that meditation with
Mm-hmm.
people.
And I think the last time I did it, yes, it brought up a lot, but like immediately after, magical things started happening.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for that.
I think that could be an episode of its own, actually, because I think we could do that
Yeah.
later and then share that
I
as a,
need it today, please.
I mean, we'll do it today. We
Yeah.
will do it today. I think that
Okay.
is a beautiful practice for everyone to also
Hmm.
have in their hearts as a guided
Yeah.
self-love practice.
Hmm.
So, do you want to?
Yeah. So, okay. So back to me, like dealing with, apart from noticing that that meditation, the having and not having and being open and letting go, reminded me of your meditation. It really just made me like ask the creator for
Yeah,
support, to be carried, to let go, to be open and just sit and be with what is. And then like I would notice, a few hours later, like I would find peace in my heart. I would feel good. And because I practice my breathing to get into flow state and I'm a bliss junkie, I
yeah.
would like bring that up to that euphoric state.
Mm,
Um, but also because I'm in like this state of limbo, I'm not grounded. So that euphoria would last for a little while and then go to anxiety
yeah,
and then back to anguish and then back to peace. And so I did a lot of looping
yeah.
and
So it's
a
coming
lot of
back to
releasing and
center.
surrendering. Hmm?
It's learning to come back to center. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, you have an open solar plexus. You're non-emotional
Yeah, but I've been feeling lots of roller coasters, so I don't know where I'm getting that.
through
But
your thoughts. I think that's from the thinking. And I
yes,
think that when we
yeah.
are non-emotionals, as you and I are, we can get into an addictive state of needing emotion to feel alive. So there's a sense of feeling like you are connected to something or someone or some situation to make you
Uh-huh.
feel like you're living and alive to things.
Mm.
And so
I don't
when we,
know. Because also I don't know if it's emotion or energy. like the energetic practice. So yeah,
So
it's a
the
bit of both.
highs and the lows sound like it's a search for emotion, like a search for feeling.
Yeah, well, like going to the positive side instead of the negative side. And so there's a positive, peaceful side, or like the positive, blissful side. There's the highs and the lows, which I'm like regulating through my nervous system,
Yeah.
and then switching back and forth from positive and negative.
And to be neutral and to just
To
be
be
in the
neutral and
nothingness.
just accept. Yes.
Yeah. That feeling of not feeling
Mm-hmm.
is really hard, especially if in circumstances where you are not interacting with humanity that much. You're almost blind to feeling unless you're creating it from another source. If you're a non-emotional, I mean. And so we get our emotions from the interactions with other people. And if
Mm-hmm.
you've spent a lot of time where you're not interacting because you're working from home, or there's not much coming at you from the external to make you feel any emotion, that
I've
sense
been
of
I've been getting it. I don't know where, but I've been getting it.
sense of being
Yeah.
okay in the calm, okay in the nothing. It's okay to not feel anything.
Mm.
Coming back to that.
So yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I need to go there and meditate on that. But what I've been feeling really is just the unstableness of it. And what's really been helping as well, um, which you helped me come back to, was my inside flow yoga, because embodiment
Mm,
embodiment practices, getting out of my head and out of my thoughts and just into my body. And
yeah,
yes, I've been going to the gym and that feels good, but there's something special about the one breath per movement of inside flow, because it is fast, but you do have to prolong each movement to slow it down. So it's like slow down to go fast, that whole philosophy.
yeah,
And it is so fluid and continuous that I'm continuously finding my ground again and
yeah,
finding that stability. And it is a lot of wobble, but it's bringing me into my body so that I find that ground.
yeah. And that is where the self-created joy comes from. Like
Mm-hmm.
you are creating that sense of joy from an activity that feeds your soul and
Yes.
gets you from your thoughts, which is what the thoughts are the only thing really
I've been
creating your
spinning out.
emotions. Like
Yes. Yes.
it is your thoughts.
Yes.
And so we want to go from up here to the center, to the grounding. And that's what movement ultimately does, especially that one for you.
Yeah.
For other people, it could be today, for example, I sat and did a lot of DI work, which is the same as guided visualizations. And
Mm-hmm.
the clearest message I had was self-care. But
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't clear enough. It was like, what does that look like for me? And I had the message of you need to be by the river, you need to be in nature, you need to feel joy in your body, and you need to move. But it was about getting down into the earth, into nature, and moving.
Grounding as well, but like real earthing.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. The weather is not really good for that right now, but
I
as
just
soon as
went,
the sun
I'm
comes
like,
out,
I
yeah.
got new shoes yesterday. I didn't wear them because my daughter
Mm.
wanted to come with me. So she put the new shoes on for that purpose, like to trek, to be out there, and
Oh,
no
good.
excuses, whatever the weather. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, this it's like going out in the snow. There's something even more satisfying when you come in from being out in the rain as well.
Oh, yeah, I
It's a
bet.
mindset about the fact that it's raining. Oh, so I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't go. It's like
That
I
is
go
true.
anyway. I go
Yeah.
anyway. Well, I don't always. Today I went anyway.
Good. That sounds great.
So yeah, we kind of connected with this ping that I had when I sat and did a meditation on Friday morning, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I
That really brought some excitement into my life.
Yeah, and it was a very clear, very concise message of what to do next, because I've been asking to just be pulled along almost by the stream and not be so much about masculine I have to do, I need to create, or I need to XYZ, and just sit
Mm-hmm.
in, show me the moves, show me what's next,
Mm.
And then as soon as I shared that with you intimately, like I am not sharing this beyond you.
Yes, it's our secret.
Yeah, I then had this follow through of actions, which felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ultimate delivery of the idea brought me down to a crash almost as well. So as
Because
soon
you've grown, it's that new grounding, like new, you
there we
have to find
go.
space
How do
again.
I
Yeah.
fill this aura that's expanding? How do I stretch into that and become that new version?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's this ping that I got is a goal. It's a future-based goal. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds fun and exciting. It's ahead of us. But now it's like, okay, you need to actually follow through and do what you said you're going to do. And that's when all the fear comes up about stepping into
Yes.
that sense of
And I
self.
think you need to do your meditation too, because that's why I decided I wanted it, because it's like my old self, my 1.0 version, has that fear and has those thoughts and has these boundaries and these needs. But maybe this 2.0 version doesn't have those fears, doesn't have the same boundaries, is open to many other things. So
Yeah.
to feel that openness, I want to step into that 2.0 version.
Yeah.
And I think you do too.
And it's also, like you just said, releasing or relinquishing what that looks like. Like,
Because we
really,
don't know. We're biased by like that old version. So,
yeah. And so this week,
yeah.
from that, I had a sense of, okay, let me really sit with what freedom looks like. Like, we're all questing for freedom or searching for this
Mm-hmm.
sense of freedom as things are also getting tighter and tighter around us within our countries and our states. Feels like we're getting locked in almost more and more. Let's not
Mm-hmm.
go there politically, but there is that sense of less and less freedom being available to us, no?
Mm-hmm.
And so on a walk in the dark again at night with the dog, thank God I have Pip.
Yeah.
I do most of my meditating and visualizing walking with Pip. Anyway, I did a freedom exercise that was really interesting because I actually felt very fearful of what freedom really looks like.
It is kind of scary because it's when you have limits and definitions, that is limitations, like that limits your freedom. But that defines who you are and gives you boundaries. When you take that away,
Yeah.
like,
You're
who
working
are
without
you?
any
What are you?
constraints.
Where are you
And then,
going?
yeah. And I did have a sense of, I found myself like the part of the practice is like putting yourself in a floating situation where your favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to actually move through the world in different favorite places. So I wasn't confined to a favorite place. So I was
Okay.
in the snow, in the cabin, in the mountains, and then I was in the ocean, in the
Mm-hmm.
water, and then I was back in Wales in the green grass. So I was seeing that freedom felt like the ability to move beyond anywhere. But
Mm-hmm.
there is a big fear around that sense of not living within constraints, because that's where I feel like certain creativity comes from. It's like when
Yes,
you
I
have
think
your
so.
boundaries, you
Mm-hmm.
have to push yourself to be creative.
Well, and also, those boundaries give you the definition of the creativity. If there is no definition, it's just like chaos.
Yeah. And then it's like, I don't want to feel free because I love the constraints that my family give me. You know, if freedom
Mm-hmm.
really means nothing is preventing you from having or being or doing anything,
Mm-hmm.
how does that look like in reference to being a mother? And how does that look like in reference to the people around me and my work? And well, yeah, it was just a really interesting concept of like not really wanting to own the term I want to be free,
Right.
because we very much go after it, but maybe
It's
that's
scary.
what's keeping us from being free, is the fact that we might not really want that freedom.
Well, because you have to let go. you have to be willing to let go of being a mother for that moment. Like, that's why it keeps bringing me back to your meditation. Like,
Yeah.
what would happen if you lost it all, right? And you're okay with that.
Yeah, but so am I searching for freedom? No.
No, because we don't want to lose what we have. But it actually is just bringing us back to the gratitude for what we have, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we've talked a bit, you and I ourselves, about, and I had a beautiful conversation with my husband today, which was really nourishing for me, as always. But I was able to sit with him and sort of say, look, like, I choose you every day. I see beautiful future. I see how we are going to grow together. But I
I
was
love that.
very clear with him, and I was like, but ultimately my priority is my relationship with who I am and how I be in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
I never want to need you to sustain me and make me feel like I can live every day. I need to
Mm-hmm.
find that within myself. And that is almost part of what freedom feels like within a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
like, and he was able to see that as true for him too and agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact, like, the way of growing and evolving in whatever that looks like to you, and we've been together since 1997, and like continue to inspire how we grow separately but keep coming back together, and because we
Yeah.
actually trigger newness in each other, we're pushing each other to see things
Yeah.
differently too.
I think as long as you're coming back together, it's perfect. I mean, if you're growing apart,
Yeah,
you're
well,
going
it's
your
those
separate way. But as
conversations
long
that
as you're like
bring
coming
you,
back,
yeah,
it's fine.
continuously bringing that
Yeah.
conversation
Mm-hmm.
back. Well, this is how I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm growing, and this is what that looks like to me, and
Mm-hmm.
how do you think about this kind of conversation, and like bit by bit. So that felt freeing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like about feelings
Okay.
of freedom, but not needing or wanting the world as well.
Yeah. I like that. You like your little place in the world. And I think gratitude is like the number one. I think that is the whole point of like going through the whole idea of I have nothing, I'm totally free, to actually appreciate what you do have.
Yeah. And so from that defining, I mean, it brought me to tears. Like, I did notice a lot of inner child and a lot of needing to um care and support myself through realizing certain limits that I'd had around freedom or wealth or expansion, or even the ability to create or be seen, or just how am I growing, moving into my 2.0 version, and
Yeah.
trusting myself. And so I
Mm-hmm.
did the unblocking work, which is all about unblocking those limiting beliefs. So I was checking in with what they look like, what
Mm-hmm.
keeps coming up, basically the thing on your manifestation list, if you have one, or the goals that you have for the year. What is one of the bigger ones that you're calling in? And where are the tests coming up to show you that you still have the work to do?
And were you able to pinpoint these?
Oh, yeah, there's clear
Yeah.
patterns, very clear
Yeah.
patterns that keep coming up,
And so
big
did
and
you
small.
rewrite? Okay,
Sorry?
sorry. You continue.
No, big and small tests keep coming up of the same sort of thing. And it's how I learn to remind myself to pause and say, okay, thank you very much. This is a pleasure. Because the gift of being awake to the fact it's even a test takes
Yeah.
takes the heavy duty out of it. It makes it lighter. It
Mm-hmm.
reminds you you're playing a game. It's like
Yeah.
I'm interacting with the universe. It's like when we
So,
create what we were talking about last week, synchronicities,
mm-hmm.
being awake to them and seeing the magic in them is
Mm-hmm.
equal to when you get given a test that isn't quite so nice. If you
Yeah.
can
So
see it as a face to face with the world or the universe.
I'm kind of leaning into the idea that I'm ready to completely let go like completely let go of all of the things that I think I want, because maybe that's what my 1.0 version wants. So like true letting go, and like truly letting go of the tests as well. Like the tests aren't even tests. They are what they are.
It's life. It's life
Yes.
presenting to you.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say with that is letting go of the tests. Does that look like you no longer see them, or there are no tests? I mean, my
No,
tests are small,
I am
but
accepting them and
yeah,
actually appreciating them, not trying to control or do the right thing, which
that's
is
what
kind of
the
what I
thing
was
is.
trying to do with a test. Like, oh my God, I have to pass this test
No,
because I'm doing it wrong, because
yeah,
if I eat the marshmallow, I lose the bag.
yeah.
Like, no,
No, it's
at the
about, I think
test,
a
whatever
test
it
is
is,
like,
whatever's happening, I'm leaning in, and it is what it is.
and seeing it as a, oh, I'm expanding in this moment that this is being presented to me. I am expanding. And so thank you. I'm growing in this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I accept it because it is the thing that is for me right now. And let me
Mm-hmm.
own it, no matter what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So in
Like the
that
fears
is the
that come
grass
up maybe don't belong to me. Maybe they belong to that previous version.
or
So I am
society.
trying to, yeah. So I'm trying to just lean in and find the ground there
Yeah.
and let go.
So just to finish what I was
Yeah.
going back to the unblocking. So with the
Yeah.
tests and the recognizing, just if anyone is interested, like the three things that are key for moving through tests and becoming the 2.0 version of yourself,
Uh-huh.
it's also about seeing people around you who make you feel how you want to live or be. So that
Okay.
is if you're not, if you are still holding on to a thing that you're searching for, whether that's even peace, a sense of fulfillment, and
Yeah.
just,
But I feel like the holding on is blocking the coming in. Like you can't receive if you're holding on, right?
yeah, yeah. Let's see. So in
Okay.
my steps,
Yeah, sorry.
I'm getting like, okay, sidelined, but that's
Sorry.
okay.
Mm.
Um, how does that look? Well, then it becomes about what aligned action are you taking? And aligned action is learning to let go. It could
Okay.
be. So when you start acknowledging that there are people, first of all, seeing that there are others in the world that are doing or living in a way that you are wanting to live. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like having that reference point of, even if it's your higher self or your
Mm-hmm.
2.0 version, what would they
Mm-hmm.
do? You bring them into this vision, like
Mm-hmm.
story, and sit alongside you at the campfire.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you can see the way that they are doing life. And then
Okay.
you're able to kind of take that on board as a way that suits you too, if that's what you're searching for. The letting
Okay.
go of circumstances or situations or the
Yeah.
desires in this conversation. And then it's like, show me what is the next right step forward then. What does letting go actually look like? What are the steps you need to take to surrender? Because it's
And then you
really
just
easy
wait
to
for a
sort of
ping.
say let go, say surrender, but what does that look like in an action?
Mm-hmm. So to recap, because I did interrupt, recap, it was let go.
No, first of all, it's unblocking the limiting beliefs. So you're
Okay.
working through those. You first of all, you need to recognize you're having tests, and you need to recognize you are calling in something or asking for something, or a way of being, or a way of feeling, or anything that is on a desire, one of your desires.
Mm-hmm.
You call that in, and then you question, where are your limiting beliefs around that situation?
Okay.
And then you call in expanders to come and join you in this situation where you can see they could be fractal expanders, where they only have
Mm-hmm.
those pieces of ownership that you're searching for yourself. And then you can have conversations with them. And basically it's about making yourself feel like you belong in a space that you currently are not owning.
Okay.
So you're bringing yourself to sit with others that are like-minded in that aspect of yourself that you're searching for. And then you ask whether it's an expander or your higher self or your guides or your source, whoever it is you call on for support, to show you what is the next right step for you. So it's about unblocking your limiting beliefs, noticing and recognizing that expanders are part of your world and you are like them and you can achieve the same things. And then aligned action is the next right step
Next.
forward. What's next? And for
Yeah.
me today, that just looked like self-care, but in a very clear way. Not like go
Yes.
have a sauna or go do this other thing. It was like get yourself grounded in
Outside.
nature.
Embodiment.
Yeah.
The embodiment. Yes. So in a weird way, like I can totally relate your whole process to what came up for me. Like, because I wanted to let go of my fears and limitations. And I was tapping into my 2.0 self who says, maybe you don't have these fears. Like, maybe she doesn't have them. So I'm going to lean into her. And my aligned action is, let's do your meditation. I'm ready to let go and lean in.
Great. So I do think
Yeah.
that we should definitely do the meditation. I
Mm.
think it would be nice to have it as an extra on the podcast, though, so that people can
Okay.
just listen to this and then they can do that after if they want to. I do
Mm-hmm.
recommend that everyone should go and do it.
Definitely. Definitely.
And let's just think about how has that worked for you throughout the week then? Do you feel like you're finishing the week in a steadier footing or
Yeah.
you've had
So
clarity?
this, the clarity came towards the end of the week. Um, the whole week itself was a lot of just the looping of feeling like identifying probably with my 1.0 self of what that self needs, what that self wants, what that self thinks. And that was causing me to hold on or to try to control. And I can't remember when it was where I just realized, no, I can lean in, I can open up, and I don't need to control.
Yeah.
Um,
It's kind
yeah,
of curious, no, just to finish,
yeah.
like the idea, in a way, I don't have goals, but in
Mm-hmm.
another way, I feel like we all need goals. We all need some kind of roadmap that is directing us somewhere into
You're right. You're right. Because
like,
then we're just lost at sea if not.
and I think it's okay to feel like I want to be lost at sea for a while. I want to actually
Mm.
discover a new destination. Like Christopher
Mm-hmm.
Columbus, did he have a plan?
Oh, he knew where he was going. So that comes to like the this or something better.
Yeah,
So like I'm letting go. It's not that I don't want it, but I'm
because that's a denial
totally
too.
open to whatever comes.
Yeah, I think it's about maybe having like a headliner or a subheading or a heading, but not with so many criteria to it that it's so niche or broken down that it is kind of making it a struggle to get there.
Yeah. So what came up for me, like the little metaphor was like let's say I go to a restaurant and I'm all excited because I want this meal and I think I know exactly what I want and I place my order and I'm expecting it to come. But then the chef comes out and he's like, well, I don't have that, but the fresh whatever menu that I have for you today is something that I've never heard of, but it's like the chef's specialty and he's giving it to me instead. My attitude could be, oh my God, I really wanted what I ordered, so I'm going somewhere else, or I will accept what this chef just brought to me
Yeah,
and see if I like it. And then possibly I'm super amazed and like it even more than what I thought I wanted.
yeah. Okay. I like that. But that's when
Yeah.
I would be tapping into my gut going, hmm, does that feel good? Like, or am I just being sold something I actually don't
Well,
want?
like that's when you actually eat it. Like if you do take the risk to eat it, you find out. And I think that's what I'm willing to lean into. Just
Yeah.
take the risk. not just go back for the one that I think I wanted. Take the
Yeah.
risk.
And trust, have trust. Like
Yeah.
the reason that is hard to take the risk is because we are conditioned for protection. Like our brain is hardwired to protect
Exactly.
us.
Exactly.
Is it 2.5 times more likely to keep us safe than for us to be in a risk situation? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's about knowing I'm trying to protect myself from something that is unknown, that is not
Exactly.
got any risk around it necessarily. And so let me put you aside for a minute. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go after the risk because
Because I like
I want to
adventure.
find out. I want to
Yes.
just find out
Yes.
what I
I
look
want to
like.
try new things.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun week ahead.
Yeah, if I'm grounded and I lean in and I do all those risky things. Yeah.
Especially when I feel like, for me, when I am communicating with certainty and like seeing the tests and seeing the magic and allowing it to unfold, you
Mm-hmm.
feel, you see how well you're supported, you see how safe you are, you
Yeah.
really are looked after.
And then it comes back to it's just a game. Have
It's
fun.
just a
Yeah.
game. Life
Mm-hmm.
is just a game. So
Mm-hmm.
we keep playing it this week and see what comes up. And
Perfect.
we'll go ahead and do the meditation, and we'll upload that as well for you guys to use, and let us
Okay.
know if you listen to it and see what you think.
Yeah. And also, I would love to invite you all again to practice with us. I think we've got so many practices ready to share with you
Mm.
in person, in safe places. I'm ready for a beatnik session again. So please
Well,
reach out.
you also
Yeah,
have a YouTube channel with videos.
I do, but I want to get together. I
Yeah.
want their community. I
Anyone,
mean,
we should
yes,
do a
please come
Spanish
watch my
podcast.
YouTube. Please come do all my things, but please also come
Yeah.
play with me in person.
We need the weather to come out for us to get
Yeah.
together at Beatnik. But we will put something together soon.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, so we'll be in touch.
Very good.
Bye.
Take care.